And a good Friday morning to you. Robert is off today. I've got my buddy Dan KEEL here.
Good morning.
Matt Parker is at the controls. So much to do today. But first, we've got breaking news this morning. 2 bodies found in a burning car. Looks like they were good Samaritans. We'll talk more about that. The men out of the mayor's race. Who do they plan to support? Will we have an answer? And school report cards are in. We'll be checking on that, too. How did our local schools do? And coming up in just a couple of minutes, if you missed our interview with State Senator Greg Tarver on the mayor's race, some pretty harsh words from the senator, and we'll kind of evaluate what he's doing. We did a little follow-up on that, too. That is all coming up, along with Tim Fletcher. And sports and traffic and weather together is on the way right here. 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Or shoot a gun.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Shreveport police investigating the deaths of a man and woman found in a burning car. The car was found at an abandoned home near Pennock and San Jacinto. A witness told police a man approached the couple at Mall St. Vincent and was given a ride. The bodies and the burnt car were found roughly 3 miles away from the mall. The investigation continues. The men knocked out of the mayor's race are now being asked who they will support on December 8th. Stephen Jackson talks about what he's looking for before he makes a decision.
And so it's not about just going with who can win or that kind of thing. We have to have leadership that is willing to move our city forward.
Leo Savage tells us what we now have has just not been working.
I never really attacked Mayor Tyler, but I did attack what was going on with during her administration and the things that I felt that she neglected. I think that she overlooked. I think that she was living in a pipe dream of thinking that the city was doing better.
Jim Talafero tells us what he's looking for.
I want them to be transparent. I want them to be honest. I want them to engage in being a people leader.
None of these former candidates has made a decision about an endorsement. A violent night in Shreveport. Matt Parker has that.
There were 2 shootings in Shreveport Thursday night. The first happened in the 1000 block of Quail Creek around 10 p.m. A woman there was shot in the leg. A short time later, a man arrived at Ochsner LSU Health with a gunshot wound to the upper body. Not a lot of details are available about either shooting. An investigation into both incidents are ongoing. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Shreveport man convicted for raping a child. Robert Liddell convicted for raping 2 young girls in Shreveport. He's due back in court November 14th for sentencing. School report cards are out and the number of schools scoring A's down while F's are up, with 40% of schools ordered to submit a plan for performance. But there's a catch. Standards were raised this year. Superintendent John White says the bar's been raised for schools in several areas.
Mastery on the LEAP test as an A rather than basic, which was the old standard, a higher graduation rate, or a higher ACT average, for a greater expectation in terms of the credits that students earn.
Locally, Bossier and DeSoto schools dropped from an A to a B, while Caddo saw a slight increase in performance. A vote to boost the minimum wage in Arkansas could spark an effort in Louisiana. New Orleans Senator Troy Carter.
This was passed by a Republican majority House, which tells you that this is not an issue of Republican or Democrat. It's an issue of fairness and right and wrong.
Wages in Arkansas will go up to $11 an hour by 2021. Missouri residents also passed an increase to $12 by 2023. Louisiana's minimum wage is currently $7.25. A fast-moving wildfire ravaged a Northern California town Thursday. It sent residents racing to escape on roads that turned into tunnels of fire as thick smoke blanketed the daytime sky. Another case of identical twins who apparently end up doing everything together. In Fresno, California, identical twins have given birth about 2 hours apart from each other. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. .101.7 FM, 710 KEEL right now. Here's Ruby.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Olmenden Road in Bossier City due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
A break in the rain today and tomorrow, then the rain chances increase tomorrow night and will close out the weekend on Sunday. Clouds with peaks of sunshine here today at 56. Partly cloudy, colder tonight, low 35. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 50. Occasional rain on Sunday, Sunday's high 47. Richard Weddick at the Weather Channel.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin in the morning. He is out. Dan Keel is here.
Hey.
People are going to get upset with me, but I'm going to follow up this interview we had with Greg Tarver yesterday with some information I gathered. Why are you groaning over there?
Oh, sorry. I forgot my mic was on.
You're grunting.
This interview.
Well, we caught up with the senator because he influences a lot of folks in town, and he was getting ready to get on a plane for Africa, so I wanted to catch him before he left town to find out his thoughts, I guess, on the mayor's race Tuesday.
Well, I think the people have spoken very loud, and they say that they need and want to change. I don't think that it's going to be the change that they really want if they wind up electing the wrong person for this position. But I think that people are very clear that they don't like what's happening. They want to change within the present administration, or they want to change in government.
Doesn't sound to me like you're too keen on either candidate. Am I jumping the gun here?
Well, the point is that I think the mayor here now is a fine lady, is a good lady, honest lady, by the way. I think she's very good. She's got a good background. And one thing about her, we know everything about her. And I think she's done an okay job, pretty good job, but it needs to be a whole lot better than it's been run.
But when it comes to Mr. Perkins...
Well, let me see. The people put him first in the race. But, you know, my only problem is we know everything about Mayor Tyler. We don't know everything about this young man. We don't know, we didn't ask the question, why you have not voted in 13 years? Why that you own a home in Savannah, Georgia, and not in Shreveport, Louisiana? Where have you been all of these years? Don't tell me you've been in service. You have not been in service all of these years. That's not factual. You did not come home during the summertime. Why are you receiving veteran benefit? We're thinking about naming you the next chief executive officer of the city of Shreveport.
You know,
why are you receiving disability?
Pardon me, Mr. Gregg, I have brought that question up with a number of other veterans whom I know. The question about Adrian's benefits from the military. And to the man and the woman, they say that is a question that should, in fact, be off limits. You disagree, evidently.
Yes, I disagree. I'm getting ready to, might become the chief executive officer of the city of Shreveport. People, your life is an open book. My life is an open book. You know everything about Greg Tarver. You need to know about me. I'm getting ready to represent you. I'm getting ready to represent the city of Shreveport. That is not off limits. It's off limits if you're a private citizen. You're not a private citizen anymore. Once you step in this public, you become a public citizen. And you need to tell the people everything about you when they ask. You need to tell them why you did not vote for 13 years. You need to tell them why you own a home over in Savannah, Georgia. You need to explain this to people because we need to know. People died and fought to register and to vote. Why didn't you vote? You're supposed to be an intelligent person. Why didn't you vote? Service people vote all the time, all over the world. In war, they vote. You're not in war every day. I was in Vietnam. We was not in war every minute of the day.
You told me early on you were not going to make an endorsement until we got to this point. Are you going to do that now? And if so, who would you endorse today?
Let me say this to you. I'm getting ready to get on the plane at 4 o'clock to go to Africa because my wife and I do work in Africa.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate that, by the way. Tell your wife I thank you for all she does.
But let me say this to you. I'm not going to make an endorsement right now. More than likely, I might in the future. But I want someone that will not surprise me. I want someone that I know something about. I want to know about your life. I don't want to make you the head of my company, and I don't know, one night you might do something wrong. I don't know. I'm saying to you, when you don't know something about somebody, it's frightening. Let someone knock on your door, and you don't know that person, you let them in your house. Will you do that? You getting ready to let someone you don't even know anything about in your house.
You don't live in the city limits. Is that true?
No, I don't live in the city limits. That's
so
right.
You actually can't vote in this race. Is that accurate?
Well, I still take my old residence at my voting precinct.
So you still do?
Yes.
Okay, so you have 2 homes, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Today, if you were voting, which one do you vote for?
I can't tell you. I'm not voting today. I'm getting on the plane today.
You had at one point a pretty, I'm not going to say a close relationship with Mr. Perkins, but you were pretty good friends with him. I assume you talked with him a lot. He didn't tell you any of this? You didn't ask these things? What exactly, looking back on what relationship you had with Adrian, I don't want to say what ball did you drop, but what do you think you missed?
Well, he didn't talk too much about himself at all. I asked him some questions, but he didn't. You know, you don't want to pry into people's business. He's just a everyday citizen. You don't pry in everyday citizen business. I did not go into his business. I didn't ask him about. I didn't even know he had disability. Okay, until later. I did not know he didn't vote until later. All these things. That is what I'm saying. I don't want a man up there as mayor, and I found out later something seriously wrong. I found out later that he's done some things that is not kosher to be the head of my company, which is the city of Shreveport. That's my problem with this young man. Is he intelligent? Yes, he is. But I don't know anything about him.
Okay, but he was dating your daughter. Did you and I
Let me say, I don't get in my child. You have kids?
You bet I do.
You don't get in your kids' business. Okay, you don't get in your kids' business.
She does, Greg.
Yeah,
she does.
Yeah, I do, Greg. I'm sorry to say.
Let me tell you something. I don't get in my kids' business. If you tell them to go north, they go south. If you don't tell them to go east, they go west. So you stay out of their business.
Mr. Greg, pardon me.
I don't get in my kids' business.
Based on what
I don't
you said,
like my kids to get in my politics.
Based on what you've said the last 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, it sounds to me that there is literally no way that you could vote for Adrian Perkins.
But you're missing the point. It's not about Adrian Perkins. It's about here's a person we're getting ready to hire that we don't know nothing about. Anything. What do you know about him? What do you know about his disability? What do you know about he did not vote in 11 years or 13 years? Did you ask him that question?
I did yesterday. I, in fact, asked him that very question yesterday, and he said he did not vote because he was in combat. He was putting his life on the line.
He did not vote. The last 4 years he wasn't in combat. The last 4 years he was not in combat. When he announced on April 26th, there was a vote on April 28th in the city of Shreveport. Look at the calendar. He announced on the 26th, and he did not vote on the 28th. He wasn't in war then. That's a game. I was in Vietnam. I voted. People vote all the time in war. He wasn't in war every day. You don't fight every day when you're in war. I was in Vietnam, and I fought about 2 or 3 times, and I was there a whole year.
Let me ask you something that people have told me.
By the way, Vietnam was the worst war we ever had in this country.
Oh, a horrible war, no doubt. Senator Tarver, talking to Senator Greg Tarver about the mayor's race, I have now gotten from probably 12 people reasons why you were not in his corner, you left his corner, had to do with he was not letting you control him and who he had to contact. Can you respond to that?
Let me respond to that. His money people, at first I gave him friends of mine. And let me tell you this. If you remember, I was in session close to for about 160 days. I wasn't even in Shreveport, maybe about 100 days. I wasn't even in Shreveport. I don't want to run other people's business. I'm trying to run my business. It takes me all the time when I'm in Baton Rouge, and I have to run my business. I don't need the city of Shreveport to do anything for Greg Tarver. I work for the city of Shreveport when I'm in Baton Rouge. All the programs that they get from the state, I'm in finance. I put the money in there for them. I don't want to run his business. I don't want to tell him who to see. He can see anybody. I gave him some names to see, and he called them himself. I did not go with him at any time. I didn't want to go with him. Plus, I was in Baton Rouge at the time. I don't want to. See, people, that's easy to say, and people, it's easy to believe this, but let me say this to you. If you could ask anyone that I submit their name to appoint on board, have I called them about any position? I don't get involved in that. I'm trying to take care of Greg Tarver's business, and that I need to do.
1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Greg Tarver and voting 2 homes. What's the law? We checked that out, and when we come back, our next segment, we'll talk about that too. What's legal, what's allowed, and we'll tell you what we found out. Right now, it is time to check in with Ruben and a look at our Friday morning traffic.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Olmenden Road in Bossier City due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
A break in the rain today and tomorrow, then the rain chances increase tomorrow night and will close out the weekend on Sunday.
Hotline.
Clouds and peaks of sunshine here today at 56. Partly cloudy, colder tonight, low 35.
A break in the rain today and
tomorrow with a high 50.
Increase tomorrow night.
Occasional rain
close
on
out the
weekend
on
on
Sunday.
Hotline.
Clouds and peaks of sunshine here today at 56. Partly cloudy, colder tonight, low 35.
A break in the rain today and
tomorrow with a high 50.
Sunday.
.1017 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Timmy.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. High school football playoffs kick off tonight all around the area. Houghton, Captain Shreve, Northwood, North DeSoto, Benton, North Webster, Manny, Red River, Mansfield, Homer, Loyola, and Calvary all have home games tonight. Green Oaks is at home on Saturday. In all, 24 Northwest Louisiana teams are in action this evening. Ben Roethlisberger threw 5 touchdown passes last night to lead Pittsburgh in a 52-21 rout of Carolina. The Steelers scored 2 touchdowns in 13 seconds early in the opening quarter. The second came on a pick 6 to take a 14-7 lead. James Conner added the lone rushing touchdown for Pittsburgh to make it 21-7 in the first. Carolina drops to 6-3 and will remain at least a game behind New Orleans in the NFC South, or perhaps 2 if the Saints knock off Cincinnati on Sunday. SMU knocked off Northwestern State 69-58 on the hardwood in Dallas. Ishmael Lane led the Demons with 24 points and 13 rebounds. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Erin in the morning. Robert is not here today. He's taking the day off. Dan Keel's here.
Good morning.
Maddie Parker at the controls, and we got a ghost something just going crazy in here. Or Matt drunk and his elbow hit a button. I'm not sure which is which.
I'd probably perform better if I had a few cocktails, but that's another story.
You got a point. The Greg Tarver voting issue, a lot of people are upset about that. He lives, and he admitted in our interview, he lives outside the city limits. I know where he lives. I lived up in that same area for a long, long time. He lives on the north side of Cross Lake, which is not in the city limits. And so I asked him, how are you able to even vote in the mayor's race? And he said he uses a prior residence. Well, I checked on that, whether or not that is legal. And according to the Registrar of Voters Office, You have to vote where you take a homestead exemption. So wherever you take your homestead exemption, that's the address you have to use for where you vote. If you don't take a homestead exemption and say you own more than one home, you can declaim the one you want to be where you vote from. Okay?
Don't you have to live in the home for it to be your homestead exemption?
You probably do. Probably has to be your primary residence. Here's the rub in the Tarver case. He votes from an address on Pier Avenue, which I assume is his office, or maybe it's a home he owns. I don't know. I assume it's his office. He votes using the Pier Avenue address. His home on the north side of the lake was put in his wife's name in 2004. So the home is in her name. So the homestead, it used to be in both of their names, but apparently he switched it.
So the homestead exemption's in his wife's name.
His wife's name. So he doesn't have a homestead exemption at this point. So he can choose whichever address he wants to vote at. So technically, by the letter of the law, it's legal. Does he live on Pier Avenue? Does he live in the city of Shreveport? No. We all know he does not. Is that skirting the law? It depends on, depends on who you ask. He'll say, no, it's legal. It's perfectly legal. I'm doing what the law allows.
Well, you can have a domicile and multiple residences.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key. But when you look at what a domicile is, it's probably not a couch in an office.
Right. People just bombarded me yesterday about. He admitted he didn't even live in the city, and yet why is he involved in the mayor's race?
My ears perked up too.
Yeah. Well, he has a voting address in Allendale, and that's the precinct he votes in.
And both are in his Senate district.
Right, exactly. Both are in his Senate district. So if you had questions about that, that's what has been happening. So, FYI.
I have one big question. I mean, I listened to all the interviews over and over again. He never actually says what the it is that he's talking about Adrian Perkins. He says he's a lie. I heard that.
Yeah.
He's not who he says he is.
Mm-hmm.
And he put that ad in the paper and stuff. But,
right.
I've heard all kinds of things that it could be, but everybody's speculating. And I spoke to Adrian and told him people need to know. I mean, that's good advice that the senator's given him. People need to know. Put those things to bed. Whatever it is, whatever's wrong or whatever. I mean, I'm all behind veterans too. But when you step up to go to the police department or the sheriff's department or the mayor's office, you're kind of fair game.
Yeah.
For everything.
Everything has got to be out there, and there will be more questions asked, I'm sure. I want to get your take at 6:40 on the future of Ollie Tyler. Can you do that for me?
Yeah, I did it several months ago, but
Okay.
I'll do it again.
All right. We're going to do that when we get back. I also have some tickets to give away right after the news. If you want to go to the Moscow Ballet's Great Russian Nutcracker, which is tomorrow afternoon at the Strand, I'm going to tell you how you can win those tickets. So stick around. We'll have that coming up next right here. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Right now, here's Ruben.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Olmenden Road in Bossier City due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
A break in the rain today and tomorrow, then the rain chances increase tomorrow night and will close out the weekend on Sunday. Clouds with peaks of sunshine here today at 56. Partly cloudy, colder tonight, low 35. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 50. Occasional rain on Sunday, Sunday's high 47. Richard Weddick at the Weather Channel.
information. KEEL News now.
Shreveport police investigating the deaths of a man and woman found in a burning car. The car was found at an abandoned home near Pennock and San Jacinto. A witness told police a man approached the couple at Mall St. Vincent and they gave him a ride. The bodies and burnt car were found about 3 miles away from the mall. There were a couple shootings in Shreveport last night. The first on Quail Creek around 10 p.m. A woman shot in the leg. Short time later, a man arrived at Ochsner LSU Health with a gunshot wound to the upper body. School report cards are out. The number of schools scoring A's down while F's are up. And 40% of schools ordered to submit plans to improve their performance. Superintendent John White says 276 schools struggled overall and 226 others struggled with one specific area. White says the 502 who fall into those categories have a special assignment.
These two groups of schools must submit to us plans to ensure that they can make progress in years to come, and our job is to evaluate and ultimately support financially those plans.
Locally, Bossier and DeSoto schools dropped from an A to a B, while Caddo saw a slight increase in performance. California battles the Hill Fire in Ventura County as residents are forced to evacuate. Fire Chief Mark Lorenzen explained how the fire began.
This afternoon, approximately at 2 p.m., we had a fire start in the Hill Canyon area. The fire was quickly pushed by an east wind. It crossed the 101 corridor in a matter of 12 minutes and then quickly started spreading in a path similar to the Springs fire that we saw in 2013.
The fire quickly grew to over 5,000 acres. Shreveport man convicted for raping a child. Matt Parker has that.
Robert Liddell was convicted for raping 2 young girls in Shreveport. Liddell attacked a 9-year-old girl in February of 2009 and a 10-year-old girl in 2013. Police began investigating the attacks after one of the children told her parents what happened. He's due back in court November 14th for sentencing and faces life without the possibility of parole. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Fall will arrive with a vengeance. Climatologist Barry Kime says you shouldn't expect warmer temps today.
Temperatures are going to fall throughout the day. This is what we call an upside-down day, where normally through the afternoon hours, the temperatures increase as the sun comes out, but temperatures are actually going to continue to fall throughout the afternoon hours.
Freeze is possible Wednesday in our area, but not likely over this weekend. Federal health officials reporting the first death in a salmonella outbreak linked to raw turkey. More from Steve Rappaport.
More than 160 people sickened in 35 states since the outbreak began last November. The CDC can't pinpoint the origin of the tainted turkey because no products have been recalled and no suppliers have been identified, but the agency stopped short of recommending consumers avoid eating turkey. The rare salmonella strain detected in live turkeys, ground turkey, turkey patties, and raw turkey pet food. With Thanksgiving approaching, the CDC reminds people to properly handle and cook their holiday birds. Steve Rappaport, Fox News.
The FDA will soon require strict limits on the sale of most flavored e-cigarettes, including age verification controls for online sales. Veterans Day Parade happening in Shreveport Sunday at the State Fair. Now, there is an honors ceremony tomorrow afternoon, 5 o'clock at the Bossier Civic Center. The parade is Sunday at the fairgrounds, 2 o'clock. The theme this year is the Korean War, the Forgotten War. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Erin in the morning. I got Dan Keel in for Robert today.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
Our phone number is 320-KEEL, 320-5335. What you want to do right now is call and talk to lovely Matt Parker. If you would like to go see the Moscow Ballet's Great Russian Nutcracker tomorrow afternoon, it's a 3 o'clock showtime at the Strand. These tickets are, oh man, holiday season on November 9th. I guess it's as good a time as any to start.
Christmas stuff's been out since before Halloween.
We have a coworker who's been playing Christmas music in her office for the past 2 weeks. But if you're interested in going to tomorrow afternoon's Moscow Ballet's Great Russian Nutcracker, kicking off your holiday season, I've got 5 pair of tickets. So we're going to make Matty work right now.
More than he usually is.
More than he usually does, yeah. Call and chat with the lovely Matt Parker, 320-5335, and he will give these away to the first 5 folks that get through that want to go tomorrow. Love to see it go to some veterans. That'd be awesome because this is Veterans Day weekend. By the way, lots of free meals at restaurants for veterans this weekend. We've got the full list up on our Facebook page if you want to share that, because you know a lot of veterans, they can be retired, they can be active duty or veterans. Lots of restaurants are chipping in to give free meals out this weekend. So get the full list right now on our Facebook page or our website at keelnews.com. Coming up next, we're going to talk to Dan Keel about Ollie Tyler and the mayor's race. I want to hear his thoughts, his opinion about that. It is coming up next right here, 1017 FM and 710 Keel. Right now, time to check in with Ruben.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Olmenden Road in Bossier City due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
A break in the rain today and tomorrow, then the rain chances increase tomorrow night and will close out the weekend on Sunday. Clouds with peaks of sunshine here today at 56. Partly cloudy, colder tonight, low 35. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 50. Occasional rain on Sunday, Sunday's high 47. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
Chris, if you swing by the station today by 5 o'clock, we'll get you taken care of. 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Erin in the morning. Robert's out. Dan Keel is here.
The Shreveport Security Systems text line is 318-392-1884. We will read what you say. Sometimes we read it on the air.
Yeah, absolutely do. Still have a couple. Actually, I think we might be out of our Moscow Ballet's tickets, so we'll announce those winners here coming up in just a minute. Congratulations to you, by the way. We're a few days away behind our election, after our election, I should say. Dan, you were out and about. I appreciate you joining us Tuesday to go out and get in the middle of all that. I wanted to talk to you about your thoughts on surprised by Adrian Perkins' strong finishing in the lead.
Not at all. I was reminded yesterday by a lawyer friend of mine that I'd spoken with about that very thing.
29% to Mayor Tyler's 24%. Surprised by her number at 24%. Was that low for you?
No, I thought she was going to poll lower than what the early polls in the conversation had, and I thought Stephen Jackson was going to poll higher.
Mhm.
Both of those things came true. I actually thought, and it came close to this, that there was going to be a runoff between Mr. Perkins and another gentleman.
Really?
I did.
Okay.
I don't want to be the oracle of Westport Avenue or anything,
Yeah.
but
Well, John Settle, and you can see this at KEELnews.com, is urging Mayor Tyler to withdraw from the race and ease, and ease this and get into a transition and walk away gracefully, etc., and saying Shreveport wants somebody else. I hand it over. I wish the best, and I'll help however you need me to help.
But you remember me telling you, we keep it on the radio normally, but some time
Yes.
ago I told you OT stood for one term.
Yep.
And everybody
Yep.
kind of winced when I said that.
Mm-hmm.
But, and here's the thing. Mayor Tyler, and I've given her credit for doing a lot of things. I've gotten criticized because, people thought she should have done them differently. But Mayor Tyler did get some things done. But she's been running on her laurels for so long, and it's not her fault that like this recent killing. She couldn't have done anything to do that. Chief Crump couldn't have done anything to stop that. But everything that happens is falling in her lap. And this last week before the election, it went from bad to worse.
Yeah.
And she can't escape from it. The only way that she can fix the water problem, I joked about this the other day, put Leo Savage in charge of the water department. He had all these problems nailed down and was broadcasting them regularly on Facebook. Put Jim Talaferro in charge of the police department. Put Stephen Jackson in charge of economic development.
Mhm.
I mean, she if she wanted to clean house right now and said, I've made some mistakes, I've got some things I need to do, but right now I'm going to clean house at the problem areas. Not that those are all serious replacements, but if she did something drastic like that, she might save a little bit more of the hide off her backside.
Sure.
But I think it's too late. And I think everyone who's talking to her, people who had their faces in their hands at her campaign headquarters or wherever they were, all know that she's a goner. Unless something just ridiculously, tremendously earth-shattering, and I don't think if they found out that Adrian Perkins did something terrible in his youth, is going to make any difference. I keep wondering what Senator Tarver's talking about, but I've had a conversation or two with Adrian Perkins, and he's been pretty forthcoming. I mean, he answers my questions, and the ones he won't answer, he tells me why he won't answer them.
Right, exactly.
And what I think is probably happening, because I was driving to work thinking, what if I were Adrian Perkins? What would I do in the next month? What Ollie Tyler should have been doing the past 4 years. Listening to other people. There's been technology things that have been suggested. There's been people willing to go forward and volunteer things. All those things that are happening that she could be doing. If Adrian Perkins is doing them now, that means he probably will keep doing them if he gets elected, or I should say when. And that's what it's going to take. We all have to come together and communicate with each other, work together, share our talents and our abilities to make Shreveport move forward. Mayor Tyler wants to keep talking about what a great public servant she's been, and that ain't cutting it.
No, it's not. You had something to say? Oh, my bad. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Does she withdraw?
No.
What is in her makeup that will keep her from doing that?
She's stubborn.
I've heard that word a lot from a lot of people.
She's stubborn, and the other thing is she's a nice lady. She doesn't want to have all her people freaking out and thinking they're all going to lose their jobs now instead of later. But I think
already freaking out.
I think it would be very noble of her.
I do too.
And I think she could really improve her history and her relevance to Shreveport by saying 3 out of 4 of you don't want me to come back. I get it, but it's probably going to take a frontal lobotomy.
I can see a news conference with her and Adrian Perkins and her shaking his hand and saying, congratulations, you are one of the new people, the fresh faces, one of the youngsters, and I wish you the best. I think our city has a bright future, and I'm going to step aside. I think that would be classy.
It would be extremely classy, but she's not going to listen to either one of us as her PR advisor. She's got people around her who tell her what she wants to hear.
Aren't they telling her she has no shot?
I don't know. I mean, Nero fiddled.
Oh, I don't know. 1017 FM, 710 Keel. We'll check in with Ruben and traffic coming up right now. Here's our guy.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Olmenden Road in Bossier City due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
A break in the rain today and tomorrow, then the rain chances increase tomorrow night and will close out the weekend on Sunday. Clouds with peaks of sunshine here today at 56. Partly cloudy, colder tonight, low 35. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 50. Occasional rain on Sunday. Sunday's high 47. Richard Weddick at the Weather Channel.
1017 FM and 710 KEEL, the place to get in-depth coverage of the stories that matter.
This is Shreveport City Councilman Jeff Everson, and I love listening to Robert and Erin in the morning. They keep our community knowing about the important decisions that are being made, and they're a lot of fun to listen to.
We are KEEL, 1017 FM and 710 KEEL.
.1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Here is Timmy.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. High school football playoffs kick off tonight all around the area. Houghton, Captain Shreve, Northwood, North DeSoto, Benton, North Webster, Manny, Red River, Mansfield, Homer, Loyola, and Calvary all have home games tonight. Green Oaks is at home on Saturday. In all, 24 Northwest Louisiana teams are in action this evening. Ben Roethlisberger threw 5 touchdown passes last night to lead Pittsburgh in a 52-21 rout of Carolina. The Steelers scored 2 touchdowns in 13 seconds early in the opening quarter. The second came on a pick six to take a 14-7 lead. James Conner added the lone rushing touchdown for Pittsburgh to make it 21-7 in the first. Carolina drops to 6-3 and will remain at least a game behind New Orleans in the NFC South, or perhaps 2 if the Saints knock off Cincinnati on Sunday. SMU knocked off Northwestern State 69-58 on the hardwood in Dallas. Ishmael Lane led the Demons with 24 points and 13 rebounds. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Erin in the morning. Robert is out. I've got Dan Keel here.
Good morning.
Matt Parker is here. Coming up after 7 o'clock, we're going to kind of go over this school test scores and the improvements or lack of improvements. I know we'd been warned for over a year that the way they graded schools was going to change, so the scores were going to go down. And the scores did go down for Bossier, DeSoto. Is that correct, Matthew?
Mm-hmm. They dropped from an A to a B, I believe.
What about Caddo? Because they were really telling us, we're going to go down, we're going to go down.
Some of them did.
Yeah,
Okay.
They have like different levels. There's like 5 different grading scores that go into your total score.
Okay.
And they saw some slight increases, but not enough to bump up their actual overall scores, so they kind of stayed the same. But
All right.
they did see some slight increases where everybody else had a big drop.
Okay, we want to go into detail on that after 7 o'clock because schools are critical to a community. We'll be talking about that after 7. Right now, it is time for Rush.
The incoming chairman of the House Judiciary Committee could not contain himself. On the train, New York to Washington, Acela, Democrat Congressman Jerry Nadler talked strategy on the phone, and his call was overheard. Actually, his calls. And in one of the calls, he laid out plans to impeach Brett Kavanaugh of the Supreme Court and to go after the FBI for doing a half-assed, quote-unquote, job investigating the fake accusations during the Democrat smear campaign. Nadler and his fellow Democrats want to take down Kavanaugh for supposedly lying under oath. President Trump will be in the Democrats' crosshairs over Russian collusion, even though there wasn't any. I want every single liberal who voted for Democrats to remember these promises. Your elected Democrats have promised you Brett Kavanaugh's head on a pike. They have promised to humiliate and spank the FBI, and they have promised to take down Trump via impeachment because he stole the election from you and from Hillary. You need to hold these Democrats accountable to you. When they fail to pull all this off, you make them do or try to do what they promised to do. You make them keep going. Do not let them stop trying to get rid of Kavanaugh and Trump. Do you hear me? Keep going, keep going. Do not let Nadler stop this crusade of his. It's important.
So here's something you might have experienced. I used to post to job boards, only to spend countless hours
sorting through way too many resumes
just to find a few qualified candidates for
my tech sales teams,
the trucking business I hire for,
my hair salons.
That old process was definitely not smart.
Then I went to ZipRecruiter. They figured out hiring.
ZipRecruiter did the work for me. Their powerful matching technology scanned thousands of resumes
to find people with the right skills, education, and experience for my job,
and actively invited them to apply.
So I got qualified candidates fast. Smart.
See why ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. Try ZipRecruiter now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Based on Trustpilot rating of hiring sites with over 1,000 reviews.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Ruben.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Olmenden Road in Bossier City due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's
A break in the rain today and tomorrow, then the rain chances increase tomorrow night and will close out the weekend on Sunday. Clouds with peaks of sunshine here today at 56. Partly cloudy, colder tonight, low 35. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 50. Occasional rain on Sunday. Sunday's high 47. Richard Wedding at the Weather Channel.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL, Shreveport.
And a good Friday morning to you. So much to get to today. Breaking news this morning. 2 bodies found in a burning car. Looks like they were good Samaritans. The men out of the mayor's race. Who do they plan to support? And we'll be talking in depth about school report cards and how local schools are doing. Dan KEEL is joining me in studio today. Robert J. Wright is out. Thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
Matt Parker at the controls. Tim Fletcher will step in with sports, and we'll have traffic and weather together. That's on the way right here, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Louisiana is home to nearly 300,000 veterans. Sunday is Veterans Day. There are several events going on around the state. Veterans Affairs Secretary Colonel Joey Strickland says it's important to remember our country is still at war and be willing to help as those that are fighting as they're continuing home.
We need to help them with jobs. We need to help them get into colleges and universities. If they're struggling financially, we need to help them. And we have programs to do that here in the Louisiana Department of Veterans Affairs.
Locally, there's a Veterans Day parade. It's happening Shreveport Sunday at the fairgrounds, 2 o'clock. The theme this year is the Korean War, the Forgotten War. There's also an honors ceremony tomorrow evening, 5 o'clock, at the Bossier Civic Center. The first report cards of the year for schools are in, and grades are down. Matt Parker has that.
With stiffening standards, the number of A-rated schools in Louisiana have dropped and those with Fs have gone up. State Education Superintendent John White says that the decline was expected as the state has raised the bar for what it takes to earn an A. Locally, Bossier and DeSoto Parish schools dropped from an A to a B, while Caddo saw a slight increase in their performance. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Shreveport police investigating the deaths of a man and woman found in a burning car. The car was found at an abandoned home near Pinnock and San Jacinto. A witness told police a man approached the couple at Mall St. Vincent and was given a ride. The bodies and burnt car were found roughly 3 miles away from the mall. The men knocked out of the mayor's race in Shreveport are now being asked who they will support on December 8th. Leo Savage on who he might endorse.
I cannot endorse somebody who's going to be a puppet. Not that I think he's going to be a puppet. I need to see it and hear it from his mouth and to understand what Adrian feels. And he's got to convince me that he's going to think on his own and he's going to surround himself with people who are going to help him, not control him.
Jim Talaferro on what he wants to hear.
I want to know what they're going to do to catapult our city forward. I really want to know what they're doing to develop good customer service. I really want them to tell me and sell me that we have a better plan, and the way that we've done business in the past is not the way we're going to continue to do business.
And Stephen Jackson.
What we'll have to do is we'll have to be open-minded. We'll have to look at, some specifics. We'll have to look at the issues that are out there and who has the best plan, or who do we believe has the best plan.
All 3 men say they're willing to talk to Adrian Perkins and Ollie Tyler before the December 8th runoff. One of the safest cities in America struggling to cope with the trauma of a mass shooting while authorities are trying to figure out what sent a Marine veteran on a bloody rampage. Hundreds of people gathered last night at a vigil to remember the dozen people shot down by Ian Long one night earlier at the Borderline Bar and Grill. Christie's getting ready to auction off the largest fancy vivid pink diamond it's ever sold. If you want it, bring a lot more than curiosity. It's expected to sell between $30 and $50 million. It's a 19-carat diamond. It's a rectangular cut gemstone. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Here is Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on Hearn Avenue near Ford Street. And we have some slow-moving traffic on East Texas Street near Traffic Street in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
A break in the rain today and tomorrow, then the rain chances increase tomorrow night and will close out the weekend on Sunday. Clouds with peaks of sunshine here today at 56. Partly cloudy, colder tonight, low 35. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 50. Occasional rain on Sunday, Sunday's high 47. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
.1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Erin in the morning. Robert is off today. I've got my buddy Dan Keel here in studio.
Good morning.
We're looking at the school test scores that have just been released by the state education department. They released them, of course, parish by parish, school by school. You can see the, all the details. I'm going to put all this on the website, keelnews.com, here in just a little bit. But we knew early on that the formula for evaluating the schools was going to change. Therefore, we were warned that, hey, these scores are going to go down. Don't look for, big improvements because it's tougher now. But we're looking at the numbers. Caddo Parish still shows up as a C district. Bossier Parish is a B. DeSoto Parish also a B. But I'm looking at the numbers. Do you have that in front of you, Dan?
I'm downloading something.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, but I was looking to see the numbers that the scoring was, and there's some phased-in changes between now and 2021, and then again the years after that, all the way out to 2020, 24, 25, and beyond. So they've moved the yardstick, basically.
Mm-hmm. They have. And it's good for our kids. It'll be good because they'll be better performing. They'll be graded on standards that everybody else is graded on. But when you look at Caddo, we were under the old formula, we were a 78.5. We're now at a 67.2, which is still a C. I didn't know a 67 was a C. I'm not sure how
it would be a D on the old school scale.
Yeah, maybe so. Bossier Parish was an A at 101. Oh, that's right. It's more than 100. Okay.
Yeah, it goes up to 150.
Yeah. Bossier Parish was a 101 and an A. It's now dropped to 82.8 and a B, while DeSoto was a 97.6B and is now an 86.9B. I hate to spout all these numbers, but it really is important to look at your individual school. Statewide, our statewide system is a B. That's kind of holding steady. We were at a 93. We're now at a 76 statewide. Will this help children? Will this help teachers is what I want to know.
You know, I think the theory is that we now can compare. So if you say you're in the Air Force and your kids are in school in Bossier or Caddo, and then you get transferred to Wyoming, that you'll know that they're prepared or not. That we're actually going to be measuring apples and apples to the other 50 states.
We're not on a bell curve of poor schools.
We're the smartest of the last state in the union or something.
What I also want to know, Matt, you've done some work on this too.
Mm-hmm.
What about the schools that are failing? When we look at the lists of schools, has that number gone up in our area? And can we anticipate more schools now being, under the watchful eye of the state?
Yes, there are more schools failing. For instance, 25 schools in Caddo have F grades. That's an increase from 14 last year.
Oh.
But the interesting thing about Caddo is they have more schools that are at just as many A schools as Bossier, and they had like 15 schools on the good list, i.e. they have a top gains list where if you had a goal you were setting for, these schools exceeded it and like blew those goals out of the water. So it's some schools kind of went down, some schools held steady, but there are a lot of very well-performing schools in Caddo Parish, so don't let that number kind of...
And your bell curve comment, according to this, as schools respond to higher expectations, the distribution, which would be your bell curve, of school performance scores has shifted modestly. 13% of schools statewide got an A, 31% got a B, 30% got a C, 14% got a D, and 12% received an F. So that kind of shows you the slope.
I'm going to run through the Caddo schools that failed. So this may take me a minute. Let me just follow along on this list. Arthur Circle, Atkins, Broadmoor Middle Lab School, F. Caddo Heights, F. Cherokee Park, F. Cresswell Elementary, Caddo Middle Career and Technology Center, Moortown Elementary, let's see, Oak Park, Queensboro, let's see, Ridgewood, Summer Grove, Sunset Acres, Werner Park, Westwood. I'm going to let you go through the A ones here in a minute, if you got that list handy. Midway,
I don't.
Alexander, J.S. Clark, Academic Recovery Ombudsman. Magnolia School of Excellence. That's a charter school, correct?
Correct. That's on Clive
Pathways in Education, F, another charter school. Pathways in Education on North Market, another charter school. AMI Kids, another charter school with an F. North Caddo Elementary. Gosh, I didn't know this was going to be this long. Fair Park.
And are those all in jeopardy? We need Dr. Gorey to call us.
Yeah, I've reached out to him. And now I'm going to go over the A's because I did the bad. Now let's do the good.
I got those handy.
You got them handy? Okay.
Yeah, we got Bird High. That's an A school.
Okay.
Magnet High's A. Claiborne Elementary's an A. Eden Gardens, Middle Magnet, Fairfield Magnet, South Highlands, and the Caddo Virtual Academy, whatever that is the 8 A schools in the district, and then there's 16 others that, like I said, were the top gain schools where they showed massive improvements or are on the right track.
I just don't like reading that long list of F schools. It breaks my heart.
And this is not politically correct, but only one or two of those struck me as a surprise. Arthur Circle kind of did.
Yeah.
And I kind of think I know why, but the teachers at all those schools are working hard, and I'm sure they're just frustrated to no end.
I'm about to get hair on fire, so I need to take a breath. But if I'm a parent and I have to send my child to one of those schools because that's my district, my child can't get into the magnet program, or I can't, it just doesn't work out with my schedule or whatever.
You can't fork over what it takes to get it to get your child to private school.
Right. I'm mad. That's my choice of a school? That's what you offer for me?
how are we going to elevate the entire parish if we don't do it with our children?
I want those kids to learn. I want them to go to college. Are they doomed if they're in a school that's failing? And I know, and God bless the teachers that are trying. I mean, they're trying, but they're dealing with a lot of youngsters that are in homes. And Dr. Gorey will be the first to tell you, we got a lot of poverty in our community. We got a lot of kids that come to school haven't had a meal.
And teaching has changed. I have a couple friends who are former teachers who just recently left the classroom, and they said they were afraid sometimes because of what some of the kids, I call them kids, thugs, do.
I just think you're focusing too much on the negative, and you're missing sort of the big picture here.
Okay.
While other districts were falling in letter grades, Caddo held steady.
Which is good, absolutely.
But and if you look at it, there was a lot of gains in Caddo Parish where other school systems had a lot of falls. These maybe didn't come up as much as some of the other schools. They were already failing. But overall, big picture, Caddo held steady when everyone else was kind of struggling to keep up with the curve, only fell a handful of points where other people were falling 10, 12, 15 points under this new grading system.
But there's still a lot of work to do.
I'm not saying there's not work to do. I'm just saying, these Dr. Gorey and his staff and the teachers in Caddo, they put in a lot of work. And while everyone else was struggling to tread water, they're here holding steady and looking for the future.
And can you imagine,
make a good point.
Can you
really
imagine
do.
if football fields all of a sudden became 150 yards instead of 100?
Oh, yeah. Golly, how would that
Wouldn't
change
Wouldn't
football?
that change a game?
Ooh, that would change the game. No doubt about
So
it.
the kids have to fight harder, too.
Yeah. I'm going to put this whole list so you can scroll through and look at all this good stuff and evaluate it yourself. I know you want to crunch the numbers and all that good stuff. It'll all be up here in the next hour or so, right at KEELnews.com. 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Here is Ruben.
The intersection at Kings Highway and Linwood Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on East Texas Street near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
A break in the rain today and tomorrow, then the rain chances increase tomorrow night and will close out the weekend on Sunday. Clouds with peaks of sunshine here today at 56. Partly cloudy, colder tonight, low 35. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 50. Occasional rain on Sunday. Sunday's high 47. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
.1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Here is Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. High school football playoffs kick off tonight all around the area. Houghton, Captain Shreve, Northwood, North DeSoto, Benton, North Webster, Manny, Red River, Mansfield, Homer, Loyola, and Calvary all have home games tonight. Green Oaks is at home on Saturday. In all, 24 Northwest Louisiana teams are in action this evening. Ben Roethlisberger threw 5 touchdown passes last night to lead Pittsburgh in a 52-21 rout of Carolina. The Steelers scored 2 touchdowns in 13 seconds early in the opening quarter. The second came on a pick six to take a 14-7 lead. James Conner added the lone rushing touchdown for Pittsburgh to make it 21-7 in the first. Carolina drops to 6-3 and will remain at least a game behind New Orleans in the NFC South, or perhaps 2 if the Saints knock off Cincinnati on Sunday. SMU knocked off Northwestern State 69-58 on the hardwood in Dallas. Ishmael Lane led the Demons with 24 points and 13 rebounds. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.1017 FM, 710 Keel, Robert and Erin in the morning, and Dan Keel is here.
Good morning.
Robert is off today. Matt Parker's here. I want to say, is it okay to say Happy Veterans Day? That's okay, right?
I know some happy veterans.
It's not Happy Memorial Day is the one you don't say happy for. It's Veterans Day. Sunday is Veterans Day, and parade is happening at the State Fair, free to military, veterans, etc. 2 o'clock the parade rolls. They are doing a ceremony 5 o'clock the Bossier Civic Center on Saturday evening, kind of a ceremonial event, because there's some of the veterans that can't do both. They can't stand for a long time for a parade, but they want to honor them. Korean War is the feature this year. We're going to have Ken Epperson joining us in just a few minutes to talk more about it. But, you know, Matt, you put the list of places that honor veterans it's at keelnews.com. It's on our Facebook page. There's a lot of businesses that step up and offer free meals and services to veterans on Sunday. There's too many to mention, correct? I mean, it just goes
really
on and on.
And, you know, even if these restaurants and places didn't give out free stuff, I see people in the community all the time, whether it's at Cracker Barrel, Waffle House, wherever, where if they see someone in uniform, they'll pick up the tab. So,
oh yeah,
I mean, there's no shortage of cool things going on around town for veterans. There's a big ceremony tomorrow, which I'm sure Mr. Ken will tell us about.
You
There's
bet.
the parade, the whole thing.
Just, you know, look on our Facebook page. If you know a veteran or have a veteran in your family, there are lots of freebies for them. Sunday. Some of them are doing them on Monday just because Sunday they're closed or it's a busy day. But we've got the full list up there. And, you know, I've got a son who's a veteran who's back here in Shreveport, and he'll you know, is it bad for a veteran to run from one to another? Get a bunch of free meals?
I think if you serve your country and are willing to take a bullet for strangers and people you've never met, you should be able to get free stuff all year round. So if you use and abuse it, you know, usually I'm against that, but in this case, go for it.
I did take him out to dinner last night because it was his birthday, his 25th birthday. But I did. Matt, would you be mad at me if I did this? Let me tell you what I did.
I get mad every time you say you do anything as a parent.
I'm a great parent.
She's produced 2 Marines.
Yeah, they're pretty good kids.
Yeah, they joined the Marines to get away from her.
Oh, hush. So his present was 5 gifts, okay? And it was a little scavenger hunt. It was a go look in the oven.
This sounds like fun.
Go look in the freezer.
So you had to go from one to the other?
Yeah, had to go from one to the other to get his final
A
gift.
sequential scavenger hunt.
Yes, and it had little notes inside that said, I love you, go to the freezer.
Is he 8?
No, he's not 8.
All right, then.
Aren't you okay with that?
No.
But he built a hut. He built a fort in a stranger's living room when he was 21 years old. He built a fort.
I wonder where
with
he gets that
blankets and a chairs.
Machine
Boys
gun
will
nest,
always
the whole
be
9 yards.
boys.
Yeah. And we really don't outgrow it.
You would love a scavenger hunt, right?
I've had those sort of things in later life, and they're fun.
Okay, so it wasn't bad. Matt's
but I
just,
doubt they involved your mother.
Matt's just
That's
crazy.
a good point.
Hush up, both of you. 1017 FM 710 Keel. Talk more about how we're honoring veterans locally. That is coming up next. Right now, though, here's Ruben.
Starting to see some slow-moving traffic at the intersection of North Spring Street and East Stoner Avenue. And we have some traffic delays on Hamilton Road near Barksdale Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
A break in the rain today and tomorrow, then the rain chances increase tomorrow night and will close out the weekend on Sunday. Clouds with peaks of sunshine here today at 56. Partly cloudy, colder tonight, low 35. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 50. Occasional rain on Sunday, Sunday's high 47. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Shreveport police investigating the deaths of a man and woman found in a burning car. The car was found at an abandoned home near Pennock and San Jacinto. A witness told police a man approached the couple at Mall St. Vincent and they gave him a ride. The bodies and burnt car were found about 3 miles away from the mall. There were a couple shootings in Shreveport last night. The first on Quail Creek around 10 p.m. A woman shot in the leg. Short time later, a man arrived at Ochsner LSU Health with a gunshot wound to the upper body. School report cards are out. The number of schools scoring A's down while F's are up. And 40% of schools ordered to submit plans to improve their performance. Superintendent John White says 276 schools struggled overall and 226 others struggled with one specific area. White says the 502 who fall into those categories have a special assignment.
These two groups of schools must submit to us plans to ensure that they can make progress in years to come, and our job is to evaluate and ultimately support financially those plans.
Locally, Bossier and DeSoto schools dropped from an A to a B, while Caddo saw a slight increase in performance. California battles the Hill Fire in Ventura County as residents are forced to evacuate. Fire Chief Mark Lawrenson explained how the fire began.
This afternoon, approximately at 2 p.m., we had a fire start in the Hill Canyon area. The fire was quickly pushed by an east wind. It crossed the 101 corridor in a matter of 12 minutes. and then quickly started spreading in a path similar to the Springs fire that we saw in 2013.
The fire quickly grew to over 5,000 acres. Shreveport man convicted for raping a child. Matt Parker has that.
Robert Liddell was convicted for raping 2 young girls in Shreveport. Liddell attacked a 9-year-old girl in February of 2009 and a 10-year-old girl in 2013. Police began investigating the attacks after one of the children told her parents what happened. He's due back in court November 14th for sentencing and faces life without the possibility of parole. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Fall will arrive with a vengeance. Climatologist Barry Kime says you shouldn't expect warmer temps today.
Temperatures are going to fall throughout the day. This is what we call an upside-down day, where normally through the afternoon hours, the temperatures increase as the sun comes out, but temperatures are actually going to continue to fall throughout the afternoon hours.
Freeze is possible Wednesday in our area, but not likely over this weekend. Federal health officials reporting the first death in a salmonella outbreak linked to raw turkey. More from Steve Rappaport.
More than 160 people sickened in 35 states since the outbreak began last November. The CDC can't pinpoint the origin of the tainted turkey because no products have been recalled and no suppliers have been identified, but the agency stopped short of recommending consumers avoid eating turkey. The rare salmonella strain detected in live turkeys, ground turkey, turkey patties, and raw turkey pet food. With Thanksgiving approaching, the CDC reminds people to properly handle and cook their holiday birds. Steve Rappaport, Fox News.
The FDA will soon require strict limits on the sale of most flavored e-cigarettes, including age verification controls for online sales. Veterans Day Parade happening in Shreveport Sunday at the State Fair. Now, there is an honors ceremony tomorrow afternoon, 5 o'clock at the Bossier Civic Center. The parade is Sunday at the fairgrounds, 2 o'clock. The theme this year is the Korean War, the Forgotten War. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Sorry, I'm dancing. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. It was not an attack, Matt. Stop. Robert is out today. Dan Keel is here with me.
Hey.
Matt Parker is behind the controls. Hey. Turkey, salmonella. Yesterday was 2 weeks from Thanksgiving. You can't have turkey and salmonella at Thanksgiving.
This problem's been going on for a year. They haven't been able to pinpoint it. And over the 12-month period this has been happening, there's only been, 100 cases?
Only 100,
nationwide.
Okay.
I mean, across the nation in a handful of places. It's like 10 in Texas, 10 here. So, I mean, I get it. It's bad. Salmonella is not good for anybody. But
right.
Overall, in the grand scheme of things, compared to some of the food issues that have occurred lately,
it's okay.
Can you cook it out?
I think you can if
I
you
thought
cook
you
it
could.
enough. Yeah, if
I
you
mean,
cook it enough,
as long as you're
kill
not
it.
making turkey sushi.
Yeah, don't eat no turkey or chicken sushi. That's not
No,
good.
not good.
Nor pork. You shouldn't eat raw pork either, right?
Mm-mm.
Not good. By the way, speaking of food and sicknesses and stuff, out to dinner last night with my son and a couple of his friends. We're at a Bossier restaurant, which shall remain nameless. Food was good. Everything was fine. But I'm a water drinker. Everybody at the table, in fact, was drinking water. And my son at one point goes, "Man, this water tastes like chlorine."
That's because it is mostly chlorine.
And I thought about it and I went,
Chloramine.
"Oh, chlorine burn." But then, please
60
help me.
days.
I tasted his. It tasted and smelled like chlorine. I tasted mine. No chlorine.
Maybe they got you a bottle of water.
They poured it out of the same pitcher.
Oh.
How is some of it not? Maybe it was a different pitcher and I didn't realize. But aren't they using the same? I mean, they're not bottling in water if you're drinking free water, right?
Some places have filters at least.
Yeah.
Which I think, according to the water guy, Bob.
But
that works.
how could one glass of water that presumably came from the same source smell and taste like chlorine and another glass not? Can someone explain that to me?
I think you probably are crazy, but I'm sure there is something to, like, there being pockets of more chlorine versus less in the water pipes.
It's
and
like
things
sweet
settling.
tea, though. Sweet tea, if you get sweet tea and let it sit a while, it might be sweeter at the bottom. Maybe there's some sort of settling that occurred. How long was it before you drank your water?
Oh.
Was it recently agitated, or did it sit there a while?
His might have sat long because I drank. This is the problem. I'm realizing now. I drank 4 glasses of water.
Well, you
One
might have
time
gotten
the waiter came over and said, "I don't think we can keep up with you." And
You
I'm
might have
like,
gotten where you don't smell it anymore.
"Oh, I'm immune
Have you had your
to it."
sinuses checked lately?
No, I've got good sinus, but
Have you
I
done-
smelled his clearly.
Okay.
Well,
But how did I
that was
not-
after he pointed it out to you, too.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Where if you're paying attention for something like, oh, wow, this is overpowering.
Are we charging her for psychoanalysis?
I need to pay. I really do need to pay. Most definitely. That chlorine burn, Matt, when did that thing start?
God, I don't know.
Mid-September, maybe?
Yeah.
So it's still got a little ways to go.
Yeah, it was supposed to be 60 days, and then even after they do the burn, it's got to work its way out of the system. It's not like one day it's there and one day it's gone. So it'll probably take a while for the system to flow through where there's no more chlorine in it.
Okay.
Anyway.
I think it may be later than that. I have to look and see when we were talking to Erin Brockovich.
I did speak to, and I'm really embarrassed to tell you this, but Dan, you haven't heard this probably, but I have a brother who is an environmental engineer and asked me what his specialty is.
I cannot ask you that because I already know the answer. Wait a minute. Lawyers always know the answer. What is his specialty, Erin?
His specialty is water. And he
takes your calls.
He was in China when all this was brewing, so he did not get my emails, or if he got them, the Chinese government stopped him. I don't know what happened to my emails, but or he was too busy because when he's out of the country, he's
working.
busy.
Right.
What he does now is he's a consultant, and he works with a company that helps solve water system problems. I'm just going to be quite blunt. He's in Atlanta. That's his base. But I didn't even think that I need to get his advice. But we finally talked, and gosh, we have to take a break. We do have to take a break. Man, I'm late. I did get this advice, though, from our buddy Rusty. We'll talk about the water and what my brother said, and my brother about Bossier water. But Rusty says, I love Rusty. He's at the Walter Jacobs Nature Park. He said, soak your turkey in Bossier water.
That'll clean it.
Thanks,
for sure.
Rusty. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Right now, it's time to check in with Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on North Market near North Hearn Avenue, and we have some traffic delays on Old Minden Road near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
A break in the rain today and tomorrow, then the rain chances increase tomorrow night and will close out the weekend on Sunday. Clouds and peaks of sunshine here today at 56. Partly cloudy, colder tonight, low 35. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 50. Occasional rain on Sunday. Sunday's high 47. Richard Wedding at the Weather Channel.
I have no rhythm, do I?
Or
None?
pitch.
Or pitch.
Or talent, or, God, we can go down the list.
1017 FM 710 Keel. Robert and Erin in the morning. He is out. Dan Keel is here. If you would like to text us, you're more than welcome to do so.
The Shreveport Security Systems text line, and you can also send pictures, 318-392-1884.
Okay, I was getting to the water situation in Bossier because they're still in the middle of a chlorine burn. I could smell chlorine in the water last night while I was out to eat. I did see Lo Walker eating out the other day in Shreveport. I wonder if he comes over here so he can get clean water. That's bad. No, he probably eats out all over the place. But last night could smell the chlorine in the water in my son's glass of water. Couldn't smell it in mine, so I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. But I did, and perhaps you heard me share this earlier. I know, Dan, you maybe did not. My brother is an environmental engineer. His specialty is water systems, and he travels the world now. He's based out of Atlanta, but he goes around the world doing evaluations of wastewater treatment systems, etc., and water systems. And he does a lot more than that. But I called him and I said, is the Bossier water problem with the brain-eating amoeba and the chlorine burn, is it somewhere between what Bossier City folks are telling us and Erin Brockovich people are telling us? Where Erin Brockovich's people are saying, don't let the water come near you, don't drink it, don't bathe in it.
It's the off-gassing from the water that they were concerned about.
Bossier City people and the state health department, I must say, saying they're within the guidelines.
They've
they're
done
doing
the
right
correct
thing.
protocol,
Yeah.
right.
My brother said for him, somewhere in between. He said, I don't think it's dangerous to bathe in it. Don't think it's dangerous to shower in it. Shouldn't get it up your nose, into your nasal passages, etc.
Because of the amoeba.
Yeah, because of the amoeba.
You're at bigger risk jumping off a boat or a dock into Cross Lake.
Oh, absolutely.
For the amoeba. The amoeba's not the problem, is it?
No, I don't think the amoeba. But then I asked him about the chlorine burn, and he said there are better ways to do that. They are more expensive. And when you look at Bossier as a privatized system, he said they're going to do it whatever the cost-effective way is to do it. That's legal, and that's what they're doing. But I said, would you drink the water yourself? And he said, no. He would. What is that? Is that you ringing?
It's an old-fashioned phone. It's a flipper.
Flip phone. Oh, my goodness.
We got a call when we were talking about this last time. I guess it was last week before last, from a local vet who said they can't pinpoint it, but since they started this chlorine burn, there's been a lot more sick puppies with tummy troubles coming into their office.
Oh.
So
that's not good.
Yeah.
And then my brother added a caveat to this, too. Just keep this in mind. He said, I wouldn't drink it, nor would I cook with it. So just FYI, while the chlorine burn is going on, he said he wouldn't drink it, nor would he cook with it, but he would shower, bathe in it. Did not think that was a problem. Now, again, that's his opinion. He's one guy, but, he's a guy I trust. implicitly, no doubt. 1017 FM, 710 Keel. It is time to check in with Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on North Market near North Hearn Avenue, and we have some traffic delays on Old Minden Road near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
A break in the rain today and tomorrow, then the rain chances increase tomorrow night and will close out the weekend on Sunday. Clouds with peaks of sunshine here today at 56. Partly cloudy, colder tonight, low 35. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 50. Occasional rain on Sunday. Sunday's high 47. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
If Shreveport Bossier is talking about it, so are we. 1017 FM and 710 Keel.
This is Robert Adley. I cannot tell you how much we appreciate Robert and Erin bringing to the public all of these community issues. It's critical. It's very important. I want to thank you for it.
We are Keel. 1017 FM and 710 Keel.
.1017 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. High school football playoffs kick off tonight all around the area. Houghton, Captain Shreve, Northwood, North DeSoto, Benton, North Webster, Manny, Red River, Mansfield, Homer, Loyola, and Calvary all have home games tonight. Green Oaks is at home on Saturday. In all, 24 Northwest Louisiana teams are in action this evening. Ben Roethlisberger threw 5 touchdown passes last night to lead Pittsburgh in a 52-21 rout of Carolina. The Steelers scored 2 touchdowns in 13 seconds early in the opening quarter. The second came on a pick six to take a 14-7 lead. James Conner added the lone rushing touchdown for Pittsburgh to make it 21-7 in the first. Carolina drops to 6-3 and will remain at least a game behind New Orleans in the NFC South, or perhaps 2 if the Saints knock off Cincinnati on Sunday. SMU knocked off Northwestern State 69-58 on the hardwood in Dallas. Ishmael Lane led the Demons with 24 points and 13 rebounds. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin in the morning. Robert is out. I've got my buddy Dan Keel in studio with me.
Good morning.
Ken Epperson is joining us. You are one of the organizers of the big event going on this weekend honoring veterans. Ken, thanks for joining us. Tell us what's going on.
Okay, Erin and Dan, we are excited. We have our 7th annual Veterans Ceremony and Veterans Parade. Saturday, November the 10th at 5 o'clock p.m. We'll be at the Bossier Civic Center, where we will be honoring 9 veterans for their military and their community service. 2 of the 9 will be posthumously. They lost their lives on behalf of this country in Afghanistan, but we're going to recognize them also. And on Sunday, we're going to be starting our big parade, which hits right on Veterans Day, November the 11th at 2 o'clock p.m. We have over 90 units in there, over 3,500 participants, all military and veterans. Enter the state fairgrounds free and free parking beginning at 2 o'clock p.m. Colonel Michael Miller, the 2nd Bomb Wing Commander, will be our Grand Marshal this year. We are looking for an exciting time, so we're having 2 means of honoring our veterans this year.
Why are you doing the Saturday afternoon event?
This Saturday afternoon, because some of our honorees were up in age, and for them to have to come out to the fairgrounds, stage for the parade, go through the parade, and then immediately go through the sit-down ceremony was sort of taxing. So, and parking was a problem because we had it at the fairgrounds, okay? So this year we're going to do it autonomous where they can be in a nice aesthetic area, parking and ample logistics. And it's going to make it so much better because so many more people wanted to attend, but they could not because we had it at the fairground.
Describe the parade, Ken. This is probably one of the biggest in the state, if not the.
It is. After 7 short years, we have we've come to be the largest veterans parade and honor ceremony in the state of Louisiana. I was told by a lot of people that really know. I'm sure everybody know Colonel Steve DePeisler, Mayor Low Walker. They tried to get a parade going, and it never did get off the ground. But this is our 7th year, and the attendance and the support has been tremendous. We get participants from Tyler, Longview, Southern Arkansas, as far as Mississippi. And
free parking for veterans on at
free parking and free entrance to the state fair for veterans on Sunday, November the 11th. However, everything at the Bossier Civic Center at our honor ceremony is totally free and open to the general public.
Okay. Veterans Day Parade, the state fair. Bring the family out, too. I mean, this even if you don't have a veteran in your family, it's something to see and educate your kids about, right?
It most certainly is. I've been doing educational speeches at all of our schools. Matter of fact, I did 2 yesterday. And it's so important that our children know how we came about the freedoms that we have. Erin and Dan, you'd be surprised that the kids don't even know what Vietnam is. They don't know about World War II. So we must never forget what our veterans and our military did, as well as what they are doing now in places that we never know about to maintain our freedoms as Americans.
Running up against the clock here where we ought to hit a hard break, but this year you're spotlighting the Korean War, correct?
That's correct. We call it the Forgotten War, the Korean War. We're going to be focusing on that.
Ken Epperson, thank you so much. All veterans, families, and anybody who just cares about the country. Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock, the State Fair.
Amen. God bless you, and thank you, Erin.
You bet. Thanks so much. 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. It is now time to check in with Ruben and a look at traffic.
Starting to see some slow-moving traffic at the intersection of North Spring Street and East Stoner Avenue. And we have some traffic delays on Hamilton Road near Barksdale Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
A break in the rain today and tomorrow, then the rain chances increase tomorrow night and will close out the weekend on Sunday. Clouds with peaks of sunshine here today at 56. Partly cloudy, colder tonight, low 35. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 50. Occasional rain on Sunday, Sunday's high 47. Richard Wedding at the Weather Channel.
When it happens and what happens next. happens here. 1017 FM and 710 KEEL. KEELnews.com. Breaking news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
And a good morning to you. It is Friday. Robert is off today. My buddy Dan Keel is here.
Good morning.
Matt Parker at the controls. We got a busy hour coming up. Daniel Erspamer is going to join us. He's with the Pelican Institute. So many things political going on. It is going to be a fun discussion. Local news, we've got a tragedy to tell you about today. 2 bodies found in a burning car, and it looks like this couple was trying to help someone who may have killed them. We'll talk more about that. The men out of the mayor's race, who do they plan to support now? And school report cards are in. We'll be talking about that coming up as well. That is on the way right here at 1017 FM and 710 KEEL.
power of information. KEEL News now.
Shreveport police investigating the deaths of a man and woman found in a burning car. The car was found at an abandoned home near Pennock and San Jacinto. A witness told police a man approached the couple at Mall St. Vincent and was given a ride. The bodies and the burnt car were found roughly 3 miles away from the mall. The investigation continues. The men knocked out of the mayor's race are now being asked who they will support on December 8th. Stephen Jackson talks about what he's looking for before he makes a decision.
And so it's not about just going with who can win or that kind of thing. We have to have leadership that is willing to move our city forward.
Leo Savage tells us what we now have has just not been working.
I never really attacked Mayor Tyler, but I did attack what was going on with during her administration and the things that I felt that she neglected. I think that she overlooked. I think that she was living in a pipe dream of thinking that the city was doing better.
Jim Talaferro tells us what he's looking for.
I want them to be transparent. I want them to be honest. I want them to engage in being a people leader.
None of these former candidates has made a decision about an endorsement. A violent night in Shreveport. Matt Parker has that.
There were 2 shootings in Shreveport Thursday night. The first happened in the 1000 block of Quail Creek around 10 p.m. A woman there was shot in the leg. A short time later, a man arrived at Ochsner LSU Health with a gunshot wound to the upper body. Not a lot of details are available about either shooting. An investigation into both incidents are ongoing. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Shreveport man convicted for raping a child. Robert Liddell convicted for raping 2 young girls in Shreveport. He's due back in court November 14th for sentencing. School report cards are out and the number of schools scoring A's down while F's are up, with 40% of schools ordered to submit a plan for performance. But there's a catch. Standards were raised this year. Superintendent John White says the bar's been raised for schools in several areas.
Mastery on the LEAP test as an A rather than basic, which was the old standard, a higher graduation rate, for a higher ACT average, for a greater expectation in terms of the credits that students earn.
Locally, Bossier and DeSoto schools dropped from an A to a B, while Caddo saw a slight increase in performance. A vote to boost the minimum wage in Arkansas could spark an effort in Louisiana. New Orleans Senator Troy Carter.
This was passed by a Republican majority House, which tells you that this is not an issue of Republican or Democrat. It's an issue of fairness and right and wrong.
Wages in Arkansas will go up to $11 an hour by 2021. Missouri residents also passed an increase to $12 by 2023. Louisiana's minimum wage is currently $7.25. A fast-moving wildfire ravaged a Northern California town Thursday. It sent residents racing to escape on roads that turned into tunnels of fire as thick smoke blanketed the daytime sky. Another case of identical twins who apparently end up doing everything together. In Fresno, California, identical twins have given birth about 2 hours apart from each other. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. .101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Here is Ruben.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Line Avenue near Piermont Road. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive just north of Shed Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
A break in the rain today and tomorrow, then the rain chances increase tomorrow night and will close out the weekend on Sunday. Clouds with peaks of sunshine here today at 56. Partly cloudy, colder tonight, low 35. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 50. Occasional rain on Sunday. Sunday's high 47. Richard Weddick at the Weather Channel.
.1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin in the morning. Dan Keel is here in for Robert.
Good morning.
We got our friend Daniel Ersbaumer from the Pelican Institute, where they save pelicans. Just that's not what you do, right?
Well, it has that effect over the long term.
Daniel, I can't thank you enough for joining us this morning. And I want to jump right to something I saw yesterday, maybe the day before. Those dastardly Democrats have taken over the House. They're going to be in charge. They're going to run investigation after investigation. Should we be looking for a brutal 4 years, whatever it's going to be?
Boy, I think it's going to be really, really interesting. There's going to be some great political theater happening in our nation's capital. And, it's so interesting. Last time I was on last week, we talked sort of predictions, and and I think I think I was close.
Yeah.
Republicans picked up a couple of seats in the Senate, and you have a slim minority now in the House. Look, the judicial nominations that have been so good and everything else, I think, continue. That all happens in the Senate, and we'll see whether what the cat fight on the House, how that nets out, and what the voters think of it.
I also heard, and I asked you that to ask you this, that Steve Scalise is now being mentioned pretty prominently as coming home and making a run for governor. You feel like that could happen?
Gosh, I certainly don't have a magic ball, but I think anything's possible. However, I think if you look at the House map and start to think, okay, well, Steve is popular and among his colleagues, certainly, as well as the voters. And if you think you may have a pathway to moving up in House leadership and maybe the ultimate Speaker of the House in 2, 4, 6 years, I think that's a hard decision to come back and give that up. So who knows, obviously, and I think he'll look at it. But my bet says he stays in the House.
And Kennedy comes home to run.
It sure looks like it. Senator Kennedy says he'll give us an answer by December 1st. That's just right around the corner. Get your Christmas shopping done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I expect the answer will be yes, but who knows?
Will the Republicans put one guy up?
Doesn't look like it. I think we'll see a few folks. Eddie Risponi, a businessman in Baton Rouge, who's been a champion for school choice and lower taxes and some other things.
And a heck of a war chest.
Yeah, absolutely. Said he's going to put his own resources into the race. Has already filed. Certainly, folks expect Senator Kennedy. State Senator Sharon Hewitt in the North Shore of New Orleans has expressed some interest. Certainly, Attorney General Jeff Landry has been in the mix of that, though it looks like maybe he's sort of helping others at this point. So I don't know. I suspect we'll see more than one Republican in the race, and then we'll see what happens.
Is John Bel Edwards in trouble?
The numbers I have seen suggest that support is soft. He certainly has not done all that much to engender just big outrage in terms of the folks who voted for him the first time around. But the numbers that I've seen in the polling we've done suggest that he's got a base of support that's pretty solid, but it's more in the 30s than the 50s, and so I think he's vulnerable, and there'll be a lot of attention on this race.
But he's going to raise teacher pay in the spring, and he's going to take care of a lot of other problems. Is that all politics?
Of course, it's all politics. If you look at where we've gone, we just came through a brutal 4 sessions in the last year that ended up, if we got to remember this, we walked out of the legislative sessions with $800 million more in taxes than we should have had as of July 1st. Both the income tax increase as a result of federal tax reform, unfortunately, and the sales tax increase that the legislature passed in the waning hours. And so
a lot of people are ticked at what the federal government gave us, he took away.
That's right. Other states where this happened, you saw in Iowa and a couple other places, the legislature rushed back into session in order to make taxpayers whole when this happened. It's a glitch or unintended consequence of the tax code. Of course, here we said, please, God, don't take that money away, and taxpayers are paying the bill for it.
What? I'm glad you mentioned that. When I file my taxes after the first of the year, what am I really going to see? I'm middle income, doing okay. Don't have any, big write-offs that I can, I take standard deductions. What am I going to see as a Louisiana resident?
Sure. You're going to see, in general, a decrease in your federal tax bill. Because of tax reform, they've increased the standard deduction and done some things around that to flatten and make more fair the tax code. Those are the same kind of reforms, by the way, we need here in Louisiana. We can talk more about that, but you'll see a slight bump up in your state income tax. Folks who were having withholding throughout the year in January of this year got a lot of money back, and then February the state came back and took a lot of it.
And
away.
You should see it on your stub.
Yeah,
right away.
Oh, I didn't even pay attention to that. I should have looked at that.
This is the downside of direct deposit. We all do it at this point, but you don't actually see that number. I love it at our company. The payroll company we use, we get an email every time we get paid.
Yeah,
and it says you've been paid, and you open that email.
You've got mail,
and so but it gives you here's what you paid in taxes. Here's what it looks like, all your deductions. I love it.
Yeah, can I tie you to the chair because I want to talk about the state budget and some of the things that passed with regard to fantasy sports betting and how much money that's going to generate. And then I don't know how much you know about this casino thing in Arkansas and the impact that could have. A lot of local folks are worried about that. Can I strap you to the chair?
You bet.
Okay. I'm going to keep Daniel Ersbaumer with the Pelican Institute, where they save pelicans, tied to the chair. He doesn't really save pelicans. I'm just kidding. He's going to have more coming up right here, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Right now, let's check in with Ruben.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Kingston Road near West Coons Industrial Loop. And we have some traffic delays on Swan Lake Road just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
A break in the rain today and tomorrow, then the rain chances increase tomorrow night and will close out the weekend on Sunday. Clouds with peaks of sunshine here today at 56. Partly cloudy, colder tonight, low 35. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 50. Occasional rain on Sunday, Sunday's high 47. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Here is Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. High school football playoffs kick off tonight all around the area. Houghton, Captain Shreve, Northwood, North DeSoto, Benton, North Webster, Manny, Red River, Mansfield, Homer, Loyola, and Calvary all have home games tonight. Green Oaks is at home on Saturday. In all, 24 Northwest Louisiana teams are in action this evening. Ben Roethlisberger threw 5 touchdown passes last night to lead Pittsburgh in a 52-21 rout of Carolina. The Steelers scored 2 touchdowns in 13 seconds early in the opening quarter. The second came on a pick six to take a 14-7 lead. James Conner added the lone rushing touchdown for Pittsburgh to make it 21-7 in the first. Carolina drops to 6-3 and will remain at least a game behind New Orleans in the NFC South, or perhaps 2 if the Saints knock off Cincinnati on Sunday. SMU knocked off Northwestern State 69-58 on the hardwood in Dallas. Ishmael Lane led the Demons with 24 points and 13 rebounds. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Erin in the morning.
What is
Dan
that
Keel is
music?
here. I'm not sure.
Are we supposed to talk when that comes on?
Zach Brown.
Okay, cool.
Okay. That's a country guy?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Daniel Erspamer is joining us. He's with the Pelican Institute. All things political and budget. I mean, you know so much.
He's the wizard of pelicans.
Yeah. He's going to never come back.
I want him to do a Snuffleupagus
Oh,
impression.
stop it. Daniel, let me ask you this. We passed fantasy. It's not sports betting, right?
Right.
We need to not confuse it.
Right.
It's just fantasy leagues, right?
Correct.
Going to bring in big money. It's going to save the state. Yeah?
Oh, boy. You know, I am so skeptical of anyone who has a silver bullet to the budget crisis.
But it's for the children.
It always is for the children. It always is. Look, I'm not necessarily opposed to legalizing those sorts of practices. I think, generally speaking, people ought to be able to do with their money what they please. That said, we have to be very careful that we don't look at these as these magical solutions to the budget. We have to spend less money, and we have to have a process that is actually fair and equitable to figuring out how to match taxpayer dollars with the priorities of the voters. And right now, we spend too much money, and we have a broken budget system. And adding more money to the pot is not the solution that's going to get us out of this.
Daniel, John Bell calls you this afternoon, and it's not going to happen. We know that. But he says, Daniel, I heard a lot about you. I hear you can help me fix the budget.
Yeah.
Where do I start, Daniel?
You got it. All right. Here's where we... I love this question. Here's where we start. We start by unlocking these, we call them dedicated funds, which is, let's be clear about what these are. These are non-reviewed government spending items that just happen every year. And I want you to imagine your household budget was set by your crazy uncle 50 years ago.
Yeah, and he wanted a rice board.
That's right. And you have to keep buying that.
And he wanted the rice board protected.
Yep. And here you are, and you've got to have a cell phone bill and your Netflix bill and some things
some ramen noodles,
that's
maybe.
Right.
Yeah,
Every now and then you got to eat. This makes it really hard. Our state legislators only control 11%, almost just over $1 out of every $10 that we send to Baton Rouge. They have the ability to match to our priorities. That's a huge problem.
You're saying 90% is dedicated?
89%. Yeah.
So what are the chances of getting a constitutional amendment to fix that?
So it's tough. Here's the challenge we face is we have a very deeply entrenched and powerful status quo who benefits from the system and its complexity. We were talking at the break about the state constitution, right? So after Tuesday, the constitution that was ratified in 1974 has been amended 195 times. Of that full Constitution, 13,000 words are dedicated to how we spend our money. Just by contrast, the entirety of the U.S. Constitution and its amendments is 7,591 words. So we spend almost double the amount of the entire governing document of our country just instructing legislators how to spend the money. So it's going to be tough, but to break through and actually be able to do all the other things we care about, reform education, fix the tax code, we have to first unlock this budget and get it to a place where it can actually reflect our priorities.
But Daniel, I want the gas tax to fix roads.
Oh, my.
I want that dedicated to roads. I don't want it to pay state police. I want the minimum foundation program protected. I want my lottery dollars to go to schools. Some things I want protected, and I don't want everybody's hand in the pie.
Yeah.
How do you balance that?
It's a really fair argument, but at the end of the day, we have to be able to reflect the voter priorities. The reality is those things are priorities of the people, and they were 50 years ago, and they are today. We can't spend the right amount of money on those things and do it in the right way because the Constitution and our laws are so prescriptive in how those dollars are spent. Imagine a world in which when we have a volatile tax base, as you know, and so when budgets are down, we don't first go into healthcare and transportation and those things we care about. The reality is the things that get locked up are the things that are going to be harder to match with priorities. The other stuff's going to get funded, and it's going to get funded better and more streamlined if we can unlock the process and give legislators more power.
Okay, a couple of things happened Tuesday with regard to Arkansas. Passed casino gambling at 4 locations. Also increased the minimum wage. Let's start with the gambling. Our market could feel that hard. We're already feeling Oklahoma, losing some of the Dallas market to Oklahoma. We can't afford to lose any more jobs in our community. Is that going to hurt?
I think it will. You know, this is the great benefit and downside, right, of our federalist system is states compete against one another, and when you're reliant on special carve-outs or special industries like gambling, that has a huge impact when other states do better or when have those competing opportunities. Imagine a world where Louisiana had an economy that was growing and vibrant and diversified, and some competition in one sector across the border didn't have a potentially devastating impact on the overall economy and jobs. That's where we have to get to, and that's not where we are. And I think we will see some ill effects of that.
Minimum wage. Is it time for Louisiana to address that? You're going to go to Arkansas and be able to earn more than $11 an hour eventually. People like Matt may go, you know what? I may go on to Arkansas.
You know, the minimum wage is such a complicated issue, in part because the whole purpose, the original purpose of a minimum wage was just to protect young workers who were coming into the workforce from against exploitation. This conversation has drifted into how do we help pay people beyond that sort of young incoming worker,
like a living wage.
Living wage. Those conversations. What we know is across the board, we're seeing entry level wages, particularly outside of that young teenager level, are $15 or $16 or $17 an hour anyway. We don't need more government regulation to do that. We need a growing economy that can provide quality jobs to everyone, so we don't have to worry about government mandating low wages. Let's make sure we can bring those high wage jobs to our state to begin with.
Daniel Erspalmer, Pelican Institute. You guys do some great work. Keep the fight up.
Yes, ma'am. I'll do it.
And join us anytime you want. You've got my number, and we would love to have you back anytime.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it, y'all.
You bet. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. It is time to check in with Ruben.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Kingston Road near West Bertoons Industrial Loop. And we have some traffic delays on Swan Lake Road just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
A break in the rain today and tomorrow, then the rain chances increase tomorrow night and will close out the weekend on Sunday. Clouds with peaks of sunshine here today at 56. Partly cloudy, colder tonight, low 35. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 50. Occasional rain on Sunday. Sunday's high 47. Richard Weddick at the Weather Channel.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Shreveport police investigating the deaths of a man and woman found in a burning car. The car was found at an abandoned home near Pennock and San Jacinto. A witness told police a man approached the couple at Mall St. Vincent and they gave him a ride. The bodies and burnt car were found about 3 miles away from the mall. There were a couple shootings in Shreveport last night. The first on Quail Creek around 10 p.m. A woman shot in the leg. Short time later, a man arrived at Ochsner LSU Health with a gunshot wound to the upper body. School report cards are out. The number of schools scoring A's down while F's are up. And 40% of schools ordered to submit plans to improve their performance. Superintendent John White says 276 schools struggled overall and 226 others struggled with one specific area. White says the 502 who fall into those categories have a special assignment.
These two groups of schools must submit to us plans to ensure that they can make progress in years to come, and our job is to evaluate and ultimately support financially those plans.
Locally, Bossier and DeSoto schools dropped from an A to a B, while Caddo saw a slight increase in performance. California battles the Hill Fire in Ventura County as residents are forced to evacuate. Fire Chief Mark Lorenzen explained how the fire began.
This afternoon, approximately at 2 p.m., we had a fire start in the Hill Canyon area. The fire was quickly pushed by an east wind. It crossed the 101 corridor in a matter of 12 minutes and then quickly started spreading in a path similar to the Springs fire that we saw in 2013.
The fire quickly grew to over 5,000 acres. Shreveport man convicted for raping a child. Matt Parker has that.
Robert Liddell was convicted for raping 2 young girls in Shreveport. Liddell attacked a 9-year-old girl in February of 2009 and a 10-year-old girl in 2013. Police began investigating the attacks after one of the children told her parents what happened. He's due back in court November 14th for sentencing and faces life without the possibility of parole. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Fall will arrive with a vengeance. Climatologist Barry Kime says you shouldn't expect warmer temps today.
Temperatures are going to fall throughout the day. This is what we call an upside-down day, where normally through the afternoon hours, the temperatures increase as the sun comes out, but temperatures are actually going to continue to fall throughout the afternoon hours.
Freeze is possible Wednesday in our area, but not likely over this weekend. Federal health officials reporting the first death in a salmonella outbreak linked to raw turkey. More from Steve Rappaport.
More than 160 people sickened in 35 states since the outbreak began last November. The CDC can't pinpoint the origin of the tainted turkey because no products have been recalled and no suppliers have been identified, but the agency stopped short of recommending consumers avoid eating turkey. The rare salmonella strain detected in live turkeys, ground turkey, turkey patties, and raw turkey pet food. With Thanksgiving approaching, the CDC reminds people to properly handle and cook their holiday birds. Steve Rappaport, Fox News.
The FDA will soon require strict limits on the sale of most flavored e-cigarettes, including age verification controls for online sales. Veterans Day Parade happening in Shreveport Sunday at the State Fair. Now, there is an honors ceremony tomorrow afternoon, 5 o'clock at the Bossier Civic Center. The parade is Sunday at the fairgrounds, 2 o'clock. The theme this year is the Korean War, the Forgotten War. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
A break in the rain today and tomorrow, then the rain chances increase tomorrow night and will close out the weekend on Sunday. Clouds and peaks of sunshine here today at 56. Partly cloudy, colder tonight, low 35. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 50. Occasional rain on Sunday, Sunday's high 47. Richard Weddick at the Weather Channel.
Woo-hoo! Close?
I thought that
No.
was you on the track.
101, you're lying. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin in the morning. Robert's off. Dan Keel is here. Had to get my blankie out. Temps are supposed to be falling today. It's going to be chilly. And dipping. Matt, did you really tell me 34 tonight?
I don't know if that was tonight. Let me pull it
Or
up.
tomorrow night?
It's coming. We're going to be down in the 30s with highs in the 40s. Let me run down the next few days.
Okay, please do.
Yes, the low today will be 34. Tomorrow will be a high of 50 with a low of 40. Then the rain moves back in, where Sunday it's going to be a high of 47 with a low of 40. And then Monday, a high of 47 with a low of 31.
Wait, a high Monday of 47 and below freezing?
Tuesday, it's supposed to get down to like 20. It says 27 here.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
That's the Weather Channel's people saying that?
That is from the Weather Channel. So next,
what about precip while it's 27?
no precip after Monday, but with all the rain we've had, plus what we're gonna get Sunday and Monday,
do we need to get the sand trucks ready?
I don't.
No, it's gonna be sunny. It's gonna be nice.
Sunny, but just cold.
Yeah, it's clear skies. Make no blanket over the earth. But I show 28 on my iWeather thingy.
Ooh, wow.
For Tuesday as a low.
Okay, what about this weekend? Tomorrow and Sunday, last days of the fair. I need some sunshine some pretty
on
days
Saturday,
for them.
49 and 39.
Yeah,
Okay.
but Sunday it's gonna rain.
Yeah.
Sunday's rainy to close out the fair?
Yep, for the poor parade.
You know, I want folks to realize, and I don't go to the fair typically anymore, but I want you to realize and just think about how many people from across the region go to our state fair. how big a deal it is.
It's a
I
big
know.
deal.
I know you probably think to yourself, "Oh, I'll never be caught dead down there. I'm not going
might
to
be.
state. I'm not. Oh, that's not nice."
Dan.
Didn't have to go there, but it is.
In the stolen helicopter.
Yeah, the helicopters were not stolen. That was fake news.
I know.
Helicopters are there. They're all good. But the state fair is a huge,
It's a big
huge
deal.
attraction.
And it's not just the Midway. It's all the stuff with the animals
Oh.
and the 4-H exhibits. There's a lot of stuff to do there.
So much going on. And yesterday it warmed my heart to drive by, even though it was kind of drizzly, to see those rides going and to see kids at school buses out there. I thought, those kids are having the time of their life. They are having the time of their life.
Well, just for our local area, the feller from the state fair was on LN, Louisiana Radio Network, a couple of days ago, talking about the economic impact, and it's one of the largest events in the state as far as like events go. One of the largest financial events in the state. So,
And it's the state fair.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, they have one in Baton Rouge, but,
It's a rinky-dink thing. Yeah.
it's kind of rinky-dink. I have memories of it, with my father, but this is the state fair. This is a big daddy. It's not quite the Texas State Fair, but it's darn close. It really is darn close. When we get back, I'm going to ask you guys if you will indulge me because...
Oh, God.
Once a week.
No, you don't have to pull out your man card or anything like
Okay.
that. But for Veterans Day today, which is on Sunday, I just want to tell my daddy's story again. If you
We
don't
can
mind.
indulge you for that.
Oh, yeah, that's
Okay.
fine.
That's
Absolutely.
cool?
We'll go to Cracker Barrel.
Because my, you know what? There are a lot of guys like my dad, and fewer of them are still alive. And I just want to honor veterans today, and I just want you to give me a few minutes to do that. That is when we get back right here, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Here is Ruben.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Kingston Road near Westford Coons Industrial Loop. And we have some traffic delays on Swan Lake Road just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
A break in the rain today and tomorrow, then the rain chances increase tomorrow night and will close out the weekend on Sunday. Clouds with peaks of sunshine here today at 56. Partly cloudy, colder tonight, low 35. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 50. Occasional rain on Sunday, Sunday's high 47. Richard Weddick at the Weather Channel.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin in the morning, and Dan Keel is here with me. Matt Parker at the controls.
You are everything. Is that
Thank
what that
you.
song
Thank
is?
you for the music. That was very nice, Matt. Veterans Day is Sunday, and, we don't take enough time to stop and thank the people who have laid their lives on the line and are still doing it.
And you have a personal connection with your father.
Do I ever? And you've listened to me for years and you've heard this story once or twice, but it's worth repeating because my father was not alone. And there are many, many folks, men and women, who have put their lives on the line. My father was one of them. My father was born in 1925. And as a young man, he, what happened at Pearl Harbor motivated him. He signed up, joined the Marines. He got thrown into the Pacific region. That's where he went. And in 45?
April through June of 1945.
April of 1945, he was 19 years old. He hadn't yet turned 20. My father was at Okinawa. My father later came home, married the love of his life, had 6 children, never talked about it. Never spoke to me once about it. Never said a thing to me about what happened to him at Okinawa. He spoke to a couple of my brothers briefly. They will share some stories. They're older than me. But my father was awarded a Bronze Star. I did some of the research and have gotten some of the records from the Department of Defense and found the accommodation. I actually have the Bronze Star myself now in a safe deposit box. But my father was honored for going in and out under enemy fire and carrying wounded Marines out of the battle, out of harm's way, out to medical attention. We don't know exactly how many. It was several. Again, picture yourself. Okinawa was a bloody, deadly battle. Hot, rainy, miserable conditions. Marines in foxholes trying to take cover. Heavy enemy fire from the Japanese. My father was running back behind enemy lines, grabbing up guys that he knew he could save, and running back to the tents with them to save their lives. Don't know any of those men. He never researched it, never tried to find out. He did what he was called upon to do at that moment as a 19-year-old man. I don't know how you honor those folks. My father's deceased, obviously, but there are still people here with us who have done such brave things that I can't even imagine. Can you imagine? People are shooting at you and you're running toward the shots to help guys that are wounded.
And we have people like that in Shreveport who do the same thing. They run toward the gunfire.
Oh, all police officers,
yeah,
you bet.
Police
Absolutely.
officers. And we kid about the firemen staging a little ways down the street, but they do too.
Yeah, and we have people here who have been in Iraq, Afghanistan, and in current battles, and folks that were in Vietnam.
We have people signed up ready to go at a moment's notice.
Yes.
And you produced 2 Marines yourself.
I did. I have 2 boys. One is just out of the Marines. One is still in, and they want to serve their country. Some people are called to that. And this is the one day, Veterans Day, on Sunday, where we stop to honor them. So if you know a veteran, you have a veteran in your family, thank them. Shake their hand, thank them. They do appreciate it. I've asked my sons, do you appreciate it when people say stop and tell you thanks? They go, oh, yeah. It makes me feel good. Because they... you think, well, maybe my sons haven't been in harm's way, so to speak, but they're willing to be. They're willing. They're my oldest son, who's not in the Marines right now, is willing to go back if called, if needed. He's like, at a drop of a hat, I'd go and help to protect my country. But it's just we don't say it enough. We don't do it enough. Thank a veteran. Thank those who served. And by God, if you have an elderly person in your family who served, talk to them, record them, videotape their stories, try to get them to talk, because you will be one day wishing you had it. How I wish I had sat down with my father and said, tell me your story in the Pacific. The only thing he ever talked to me about was one day he'd love to go back and see those Pacific Island nations because the scenery was beautiful. He remembers it being beautiful. Can you believe that?
Mm-hmm.
Some of the islands, he said, were just so beautiful. And he told me one day, I remember him saying, the water was so crystal blue. But yet he spent a lot of his time when he was 19 years old saving men who may have died, who may not have had families, had he not been willing to run in. So veterans, thank you. Folks who are serving now, can't thank you enough. And we do honor you this weekend. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Right now, here is Ruben.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Kingston Road near Westburg Coons Industrial Loop. And we have some traffic delays on Swan Lake Road just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
A break in the rain today and tomorrow, then the rain chances increase tomorrow night and will close out the weekend on Sunday. Clouds with peaks of sunshine here today at 56. Partly cloudy, colder tonight, low 35. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 50. Occasional rain on Sunday. Sunday's high 47. Richard Weddick at the Weather Channel.
Leaders from the local community, the state, and the nation. We have them all.
Hey, this is Stephen Wagasback with the Louisiana Association of Business and Industry, and I love kicking off my day listening to Robert and Erin in the morning. Real talk to real people.
We are KEEL. 1017 FM and 710 KEEL.
You're listening to American Ground Radio's Morning Minute.
A mob of people calling themselves Smash Racism DC gathered around Fox News host Tucker Carlson's home and threatened his family with chants, "Tucker Carlson, we will fight. We know where you sleep at night."
This is why James Madison, one of our nation's founding fathers, was so opposed to mob rule. You see, the mob mentality is contrary to our system of government. There's a reason why the United States was designed as a nation that respected the authority of the individual rather than the collective, however effective it may seem for the mob at the time.
This group calls themselves anti-fascists. Newsflash, you threaten people in their own homes for political purposes, that makes you a fascist. And if you don't understand that, then you're a stupid fascist.
American Ground Radio, where building a better America begins with building a better us. Return each weeknight from 6 to 7 p.m. with Louis R. Abalone and Stephen Parr on 1017 FM and 710 KEEL and streaming live at KEELnews.com.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Erin in the morning. Robert is gone. Dan Keel is here.
And, we have been trying to get more details and confirmation on that sad story of the two people who tried to offer a guy a ride and give him a ride and may have ended up dead. But nothing official yet.
That really makes me sad because, Dan, and I know you're going to shake your finger at me and you're going to holler at me maybe, I help sometimes too.
Once you put somebody in your car, or if you're a hitchhiker, once you get in someone's car, you're at great risk.
That would never happen. I would never let anyone in the car. But the gentleman I helped a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I heard about the guy. Shreve City?
Yeah,
Was
wanted to get in the car. And I said, no, I'll meet you over there. But you're not getting in the car.
I had somebody try to sell me what was probably a stolen amplifier the other day. Somebody helped me park my car when I was on the way to a meeting and then wanted me to go to an ATM machine because I tell people I don't carry cash. It's sad what people do.
Right.
There's evil in this world.
Matt got on to me because I did a little scavenger hunt for my son yesterday for his 25th birthday. And Matt said, was he 8? And we did get a text on the Shreveport Security Systems text line. This is for you, Matt.
It usually is.
Erin, Matt doesn't like what you do for your sons because he's jealous that his mama doesn't do special things for him.
He wishes you were his mama.
Look,
that's
we could get my mom on the air right now. She tries to do that stuff, and I tell her to knock it off. I don't want you poking around my life. I'm well past the point.
Stay out of my underwear drawer.
I don't need you holding my hand and having.
Oh God, that's pretty funny.
Scavenger hunts or buying me footy pajamas. Okay.
You're a man's man.
You would have liked a scavenger hunt if there was cash at the end of the tunnel.
Or if there was a girl involved.
Well, see, that's a different story.
Yeah.
Not my mama.
My son had fun. I mean, as a 21-year-old Marine, he built a hut in a living room.
Erin, just remember, you're his mother. He's not going to be like, Mom, this sucks. Don't ever do this again.
He's not going to tell me it sucked?
No.
He's going to always tell me he loved it. Because I'm his mama and he loves me. That's a wrap on this week. Robert will be back with you on Monday. We are out of here. Thanks for joining us. 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Here is a check of Kim Commando.
Smart speakers like the Amazon Echo give you the weather, turn off the lights, and order an Uber. Just don't depend on them in a real, honest-to-goodness emergency. Kim Commando with your Friday Consumer Tech Update. Get extended interviews on tech topics with the free Commando podcasts, available on Apple and Google Podcasts. Smart speakers from Amazon, Google, and Apple are one of the most gifted tech products this Christmas and holiday season. They work as advertised, answering questions and working with your other smart devices. But these smart speakers are pretty useless, getting you help when you need it most. Say, in an emergency, and you need to call 911. There is one smart speaker exception, though. The Amazon Echo Connect works with landlines and VoIP, so you could technically use it to call 911. Remember, anything tech is subject to glitches, and when minutes count, I wouldn't want Alexa to tell me this.
I don't know that one.
I'm Kim Commando.
They may not be your ordinary political pundits, but these days, that's a good thing. These mamas make sense. Terry Netterville and Denise Arthur. Listen to Mama on American Ground Radio. Weeknights from 6 to 7 p.m. Right here on 1017 FM and 710 Keel. And streaming live at keelnews.com.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Kingston Road near West Bertoons Industrial Loop. And we have some traffic delays on Swan Lake Road just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
A break in the rain today and tomorrow, then the rain chances increase tomorrow night and will close out the weekend on Sunday. Clouds with peaks of sunshine here today at 56. Partly cloudy, colder tonight, low 35. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 50. Occasional rain on Sunday. Sunday's high 47. Richard Weather, the Weather Channel.
Breaking news and trending talk. We are 1017 FM and 710 Keel. KeelNews.com. breaking news and trending talk. KEEL, 710 AM and K269GO, 1017 FM, Shreveport.
Person is joining us. You are one of the organizers of